Good evening, everyone. Hope you all are doing fine, kids. So, we are going to read today a very familiar topic. I'm just sharing the screen for you. So, you can see here we are going to do verb and tense 1. It is 1 because we have one more session left for verb and tense, since it is a very huge chapter, and at the same time a number of questions are there from verb and tense. So what is basically a verb? Let's have a look. As you can see, a verb is a word that describes what the subject of a sentence is doing, right? We have earlier discussed it while we are doing active voice, passive voice. So verbs can indicate physical or mental actions. Mental actions means basically we mean state or condition, occurrences and states of being. That means states of being means you're, like, for example, if I'll say I am a teacher, so this verb tells about my state of being. Okay, if I'll write here, you all are students, so this verb is again telling us about the state of being of yours, right? Then you can see here, occurrences means event, whatever happens, right? If you say today is what day? Today is Wednesday, right? So this is talking about this, right? So all these things, these verbs are doing. And about this doing, like we are reading verbs and tenses, right? So here an action has been mentioned. Okay, so whatever the subject in a sentence is doing, this is our subject and it is doing this. So this is the verb. We'll be eventually looking at like what all verbs are named as. So you can see here examples. Here, Jeffrey builds a house, right? So this is an action verb. Anita is thinking about horses. Now you can see here that we have two set of verbs here. One is this is, which is a be verb, and the other one is again an action verb. We have already learned the forms of verbs. We have learned 8 forms of be and 5 forms of an action verb. Then you have truth always prevails. Now this is also an action verb. So it is written here like what is a prerequisite or what is necessary for a sentence to be. Means we cannot just, if I will write here I, it cannot be a sentence, right? If I will say reading, it cannot be a sentence, right? If I will say are reading, that cannot be called a sentence, right? So a sentence must have at least one verb, okay, with the subject. Sometimes we do not look at the subject in the sentence. Those kind of sentences are called imperative. We have also learned that while we were studying direct speech and indirect speech, imperative sentences like order, command, and requests. So in these kind of sentences, you won't find a subject. The subject is hidden, right, in a discrete mode. But the verb is very much means visible. Like it is written here that consists solely of a single verb in the imperative form, that is run. If you say run, is what? It might be a warning, it might be an instruction, right? So run. So you won't find any subject here because the subject is hidden. Which one is the subject? In this example, the implied subject is you. So whichever order and command and request all are given to you, you might not find a subject there, but you will definitely find a verb. So one verb, one proper verb is required to make a sentence. It has to be there. Otherwise, a sentence cannot be formed. Moving on to the next slide. There is a thing called verb conjugation. You might have heard it while looking at the syllabus of your Olympiad. You will find this particular word, conjugation. Conjugation. So verbs can change from depending upon the subject. Tense, we will know, we know what is a subject, we know what is a tense. Do you know what is a mood? We'll be eventually doing that, what is a mood. So, and voice, right? So, in means as per the subject, the verb also, like what? You will see change in a verb. And we know what kind of subjects you will find here. You will find all these kind of subjects. 6 subjects means all are pronouns here. You will also find nouns as subjects. So singular nouns will be coming under third person singular. And a plural will be coming under the category third person plural. Okay. So singular nouns will be called third, means coming under the third person singular category, and plural nouns will be coming under third person plural. Okay, so we will use the verb accordingly. So this one, you know, I guess we have already, like when I was talking about the overview about noun and pronoun, you have already like told me about all these things. You all are very well informed people and you know all these things. So first person singular, still we are just trying to brush this thing up. First person singular, second person singular, you is second person singular, and also you will find the same you as second person plural. And with second person singular also you will use are or be one, and with second person plural also you will use are or be one. If you can remember, we have learned 5 forms of verb. Verb 1, verb 2, verb 3, verb 4, verb 5, right? Then they comes under the third person plural. And do not forget this, what I said. Apart from these 3 pronouns, you will also find singular nouns. Okay. These will be under this category, third person singular. And whether it is a proper noun, whether it is a common noun, you will find every noun taken to be third person singular. And if it is a plural noun, then it will be like third person plural. Okay. Moving on to the next slide. Verbs and subjects must agree in number. If the subject is singular, the verb must also be singular. That's what we have just discussed. In the previous slide, we have learned that the conjugation depends upon the subject. Okay, the number of the subject. And the conjugation also depends on the tense. So we can have a look here. And that conjugation has another name that is called subject verb agreement. But that is subject verb agreement. That part, it is a part of conjugation. Conjugation does not only mean subject verb agreement. It also means the relationship between the means verb and tense. The relationship between the verb and tense, verb and subject, and verb and mood. Okay. So all these things are called all these things come under the conjugation. So first part is what is the relationship between subject and verb agreement. So we've already learned that this is called third person singular, right? And with that we use the fifth form of the verb 5, right? And if we are writing like this, it will be incorrect. Remember, any noun, suppose if I will say, so here also it will be the same. If I will write here Suman and her friends speak a lot. So in this case, it will be verb 1 because it will be considered third person plural. Okay. Then this one is very well. We know this one. This is first person plural. Hence, we use verb 1 here. With first person plural, we cannot use verb 5. Right? With first person singular, second person singular plural, first person plural, and third person plural, we always use verb 1. I guess you all have this thing, you can recall this, right? Forms of verb, 5 forms of verbs, right? So there can be also other examples of this. For example, if I will write here, see, if I will write this, one should, or let's say one of us. Now, if I will leave a blank here, definitely lying. Come on, quickly respond to this particular question. Suppose I have given you this, one of us dash definitely lying. Okay. Now, you just guess the subject here and I'm writing some verbs. Please tell me which is the correct verb to be used there. Tell me. Come on, quickly respond to this. I can see Sangeeta, Rashmit, Rudransh, Shriyansh and Sudipta. This many. Yeah. So can we have a quick response to this question? The question says, here is the question for you. One of us dash definitely lying. Come on, quickly respond to this question. Can we have a response? Quick response. One of us dash definitely lying. And the options given to you are namely option A is, option B are, option C will. Okay. So as we can see here, we have an ing here. So definitely this one cannot be used. If we would have will be, then we could have used it. But we do not have that. So see, when you have one of us, it is always taken to be a singular subject. So answer will be A. Moving on. So we can have some more examples on this. For example, if you have both of us have cars. Okay. So when you have a subject called both, you always go for a plural verb. But if you have either of us, so it will be has. Or let's say either of us is going to the city. Okay. So when you have either, you are using a singular verb. When you have both, you are using a plural. So this is called subject verb agreement. Eventually, in the forthcoming sessions, we will be discussing this thing in detail. I am moving on to the next slide. You can see here, the other part of the conjugation is called tense conjugation. So verb, the form of the verb changes as per the change in the tense. And we all know we have three tenses in our grammar, that is past, present and future. And we all know that mostly in the past tense we use verb to, was or were or had, right? And in present tense we mostly use verb 1 or verb 5 or is, are, right? We also use does, also use do. Here we use did. And in future we use will or shall plus verb 1. So this is not new for us. We have already discussed all these things. You know these things. So I'm just quickly moving on to the tense part. And these are simple, progressive. Each tense has a simple, progressive, perfect, and perfect progressive aspect. Okay. See, these things are called aspects. Okay. What we call them? We call them aspects. And you can see here that the forms of a verb takes in each aspect depend on the subject and on whether the verb is regular. Now you can see here a new kind of thing that we have come across, that is regular or irregular. So we'll find a table here which will be telling us about which verbs are regular and which verbs are irregular. You can read here, it is written below is a table illustrating the various forms of regular verb. Okay, look takes the first person singular when conjugated, right? So what is it called? The regular verb look takes the first person singular when conjugated. So what is a regular verb? Now first look at the different tenses with their different aspects here. You can see here present, past and future. The forms. So the conjugation of verb and tense, right? So first one is like past tense, simple. I looked at the painting. Like I said, it is verb 1. This is in the sorry, it is verb 2. In this case, it is verb 1. And this is will plus verb 1. right? Then in progressive, you will find this is verb 4 with was. And in present progressive, you will find verb 4 with am. And it is will be plus verb 4. Here you will find this is verb 3. In all the tenses, you will find verb 3. We also use verb 3, which is the past participle in the passive voice. We have already studied that. And in this case, you will again find, since it is a mixture of two tenses, perfect and progressive, so you will find both the verbs here. So this is called the conjugation. And another thing you can see here, since the subject is first person singular, so we have been using all these verbs. Moving on. Mood. Now, what is a mood? This one I was just talking in the in the second slide, that what is a mood. And I told you eventually we will be discussing what is a mood. So you will find out that this mood that we are talking of is indicative mood when the sentence expresses a fact. That is called indicative mood. So normal statements when you are writing, like if you're saying India is a beautiful country. So it is called, it is in the sentence is said to be, or the verb is said to be in the indicative mood. It expresses a fact. Okay. Then the normal statements when you are writing, like you're saying that I am a student. I am a student. So in this case also it is, the verb is in the indicative mode. Imperative expresses a command or request. Okay, what does it do? It expresses a command or request. Wash the dishes, clean the table. Okay, submit your projects. So all these are called the imperative mood. Okay, imperative. That means you will find order or request, or command or request. You can also find here, please read this out. Okay. Likewise, interrogative mood, when you ask a question, then it becomes an interrogative mood. The verb is said to be in the interrogative mood. So it is mood conjugation, right? In which mood what is the type of verb, or where is the place of the verb that we are using? Okay, you will always find the verb in the beginning of the sentence when you are using it in the interrogative mood. Moving on, the conditional. It expresses a condition. Means when you are using if. If. If means it might happen, it might not. Right? So it is called conditional mood. And subjunctive mood is called okay. So now let us move on to yes. Yes, Varnali. Stop talking is also an example of imperative mood. Yeah, you are asking someone to like stop talking. It's an instruction. Yes. So that will come under the imperative mood. Right. And there is a too much talking. What mood that will be? Kids, tell me. There is a lot of noise. Tell me quickly. It is in which mood? There is a lot of noise. Let's see who is answering fast. Come on. I'm waiting for your responses. Okay. There is a lot of noise. It is in which mood? Whether it is indicative, imperative, interrogative, conditional, subjective. Definitely it is not conditional or subjunctive, because in conditional or subjunctive you will have to use if. Yes, very good. It is of, no, it is not imperative. Can we have it? Okay. So since it is just a statement, so it will be in the, it is said to be in the verb is said to be in the indicative mood. Let me give you some more questions. Let us see if you can answer. Yeah. Did not see your chats. Okay. So some more questions are like this. For example, if I will say that, please forgive them. Quickly tell me it is in which mood? Okay, Ahana, yes, I'm sorry. Actually, I was unable to read your chats for some time. So, yes. Uh, Shantanu has given me the for the first question, it was indicative. And this one, the second one, imperative. Very good. Very good. Yes, it is imperative. Correct. Correct. Rishi, I don't know whether it is Swati. Swati and Urshita, Ahana. Ahana, what is your answer? Hmm. Okay. And if I will write a sentence like honesty is the best policy, tell me quickly, tell me it is in which mood? That one was imperative. I got it. Now I have written another question. You can see here at the top, just beside mood, there is another question. Means state what sentence? Tell me it is in which mood? The verb is in which mood? Kanupriya. Okay. Indicative. Very good. Very good. Very good. If I will write that, if I were you, tell me. See, we have two if kind of like moods. One is if you want to borrow that book, you can, which is a condition. And another one is subjunctive. That means you will make a wish there. Means which might not be possible, but you just, for example, if I were a bird. So whenever you have verbs like this, you will always understand it to be a subjunctive mood. Okay. Because subjunctive mood, not necessarily it is going to be a truth or a fact, right? Yeah. So, Arpita, it is not subjective, it is subjunctive, right? Subjunctive means which might be true, which might not be. We are just what making a wish. So in that case, we call it a subjunctive mood. Okay. So I guess you all are clear about the moods, right? Mood and verb conjugation. Yes, very good. Very good. Indicative. Okay. What is your name you said? Mansi? You have said that you should be called Kanupriya, right? Yeah, sorry. So I'm just explaining it. It is in the subjunctive mood because you are, yes, correct, very correct. Okay. Okay, others have understood. I think this is a bit difficult for Kanupriya. So Kanupriya, remember indicative has come from the word indication, right? Indication means that indicates, that points to something. So when you are pointing something, suppose you are showing up, means showing a picture. Okay, so you will say that, or suppose you are talking about a map. So you will say this is a map, right? So you are indicating here. So you will use a verb like this. So it will be in the, so normal statement, normal sentences. If you say that you will show to yourself and you will say, I am Kanupriya, right? So normal sentences, when you are writing, this is called, the verb is to be in the indicative mood. Indicative mood, right? Kanupriya, is it okay now? I guess so. I think it is now a bit clear. So others have already said that they have understood. And yes, Barnali is your Ahana is also explaining you that. Yes, yes. It must be a fact. Okay. It must be a statement. It must be indicating something. Okay. So that is called, the verb is said to be, yes, the verb is said to be, is subjunctive mood a normal sentence? See, all the sentences are normal sentences, but the mood changes and it tells us about the intention, or what is the exact means what reason behind the sentence is written. Okay, so all the sentences are, no sentences sentence is an abnormal one. Okay, if it is abnormal, it cannot become a sentence, right? So everything is like normal, but these kind of, like the mood that we are talking of, expresses different kinds of sentences. The verb we are using are used in a different manner. Okay, so subjunctive mood can be used in a normal sentence, but not necessarily, that is, it most, in most of the cases, it is not a fact. Okay, it can be said it is an imagination or wish. If I will write here, if I wore a bird, right? If I will write there, if I wore a bird, then that is not true, right? I am not a bird, I am a human being, isn't it? So I will write it like this, if I wore a bird. Okay, so see, wore is a plural verb. It should not be used with I, but why are we using it? Because we want to show that it is not true, but we are using the verb in the subjunctive mood. You know, and it is very, like what, very interesting that this verb wore is purely used for the subjunctive mood with he also. If you will write here, if he wore a king. So in this case, with war, we have never used, or we have never taught to use that, never been taught to use this, what, third person singular number with this, right? But always remember, if there is this particular means what word, if, then it might happen. Ahana has written something. The subjunctive mood is basically no, it is not want. Wish here, it is not a demand, or demand in the sense like I want, that is a normal sentence, right? You are just like what, demanding something, that is a norm, that is what, that is normal statement. Okay, so that is not subjunctive. Getting my point? So I think I've just told what is the subjunctive mood. Subjunctive mood is something when you are talking about a wish, which is like you are making a wish, right? You are making a wish. Like it might happen, it might become true, or it might not. You are imagining something here, right? You just imagine here. So subjunctive mood is all the kinds of imagination. If I were a king, if he were a king, right? If I were a queen, if I were a fairy, if I were Cinderella, right? These kind of things. Yes, Shantanu has written, if I were a princess, I would help the people of my kingdom. Very good. Very helping, like kind of princess you are. Example of demand. By demand, here we mean, see, if I were at your place, I would not do this, I would not commit this mistake. Okay, this is like this. If I were at your, let me go to the next slide. There I will explain. Sure, it is very. So I think, yes, I am just writing an example of demand. Okay, doubt. Doubt is not there in that. Demand, doubt, yes. Okay. Huh. So demand, the demand thing that you're saying, it is not like demanding something. It is just like telling something that like you are supposed to understand that. Okay. So if suppose somebody has committed a mistake and I'll tell that person. So I will say, if I were at your place, I would not do that. Okay. So this is demand. And what is doubt? If I could do that, or wish I could do that. Okay, so we always go with the past tense form of everything. Okay, it is like a wish type of, yes, completely. So can we move on to the next one? Regular versus irregular verbs, which is again an important like types. Now, what is regular and what is irregular? Might have studied it in standard 4 or somewhere. So regular verbs follow the standard conjugation rule for English verbs. Most verbs are regular. A verb is considered regular if its simple past and past participle are formed by adding the suffix ed or d. Okay. No, that's why it is Mamina Raut. It is not going to be taught. Everything is not going to be taught today about verb and tenses. That's why it is verb and tense 1. And we have one more session for verb and tense 2. Okay. So I'm just like what telling all this some things here, and some things we will be like doing in the next session. For example, the subject verb agreement kind of things we will be doing in the next session. So you can see here the past simple and past participle. So most of the verbs, like for example, if you say stop, the verb to is stopped and verb 3 is also stopped. Uh, for example, when you have this what, cook, cooked, and the other one is also cooked. Okay, so these kind of verbs are like, for example, if we have what? There is a verb called, let's say, William completed his homework at the school itself. So the verb complete, yes. Because for past tense also you are writing completed, and for past participle also you will be writing completed. So it is a regular verb. Okay. But there are other verbs like, for example, take. What do we write for the past tense of this particular verb? Quickly, tell me, what is it? Take. Verb 2 is past tense. Take. Waiting for your responses, guys. It is took. And verb 3 is very good. Taken. So can we call it a regular verb? No, we cannot call it a regular verb. We will call it an irregular. Very good. Okay, so that is called a regular. And let us see what is an irregular verb. So you can see that so past and participle in some way or the other, then by adding suffix ed, right? Swam and swim, swam, swum. Yes, yes. It is something like degrees. Yes, very clear. Yes, degree, but degree in that your level increases, but in this level doesn't increase. In that, the normal thing that happens here is we change the tense and we use it in different manner. Yes. Now let us focus on the stative and dynamic verbs. Quickly, let us have a look. Okay, what is stative? Stative is like which is fixed. And or which states, which talks about the state. And dynamic is something that changes. So when you uh, find a verb that changes, okay, like Amy kicks the ball, Lily is running to school. Okay, so here you will find the verb kicks, the verb run. They are changing their forms, right? In the first, like it is kicks, and run becomes running. But there are certain verbs, they do not take up this. They only take up this one, but they never change to the ing form, or they never, means what? Use this form. So in this case, we call them stative verbs. So stative verbs do what? Stative verbs describes state of being or perception. Perception means like it feels cold. You look good, right? So all these things are talking about our perception. It sounds funny, right? So what we perceive, what we feel about. In that case, we use such verbs. So they are called stative verbs. So stative verbs do what? Verbs are typically used for a state of being that is general or unchanging, so they cannot be used in the progressive or continuous tense. So when we say that you are looking, you normally commit this mistake. You are looking stunning, or you are looking beautiful. It is an incorrect sentence. You look beautiful. You look uh, dynamic. Yes, yes, correct. Dynamic verb changes. Okay. So, and here also believe, this verb is a stative verb. So we cannot use it in the ing form. Okay. Or in the present continuous or past continuous or past progressive or future progressive tense. We can never use it in the progressive or continuous tenses. Okay. But when a look is also a regular verb, when you are saying that you are looking at those pictures. In this case, it is perfectly fine because it is used with a preposition, right? Okay, Dr. Pankaj Mishra, can you tell about dynamic verbs? Yes, why not? Dynamic verbs are simply those verbs that change their forms. You can use the regular verbs or the irregular verbs which can be used in the progressive tense, which are merely actions, not about like this. It is not talking about state of being or perception. Then it is a dynamic verb. Means all other verbs are dynamic. Like can we write it like this? I am knowing this. Is it correct? I am knowing this. Is this correct? Kanupriya, is it correct? Tell me. I am knowing this. Shantanu, Spandan, and Ahana, Amina, tell me, is it correct? If I write I am knowing this, no. That means we know that we are not supposed to use this know verb in the ing form, right? I know this is correct. I am seeing this. You are seeing this. Is it correct? Is it correct if I will write you are seeing the class? Is it correct? No. That means it cannot be called a dynamic verb. These are all stative verbs. Those verbs which cannot be used in the ing form. Yes, I know this is correct. So I know this is not a dynamic verb. The verb, but if I will say, I am watching a series. Is it correct? If I will write, I am watching a series. Is it correct? See, I am watching. I'm not saying I'm seeing. I am watching. Is it correct? Quickly. No, I am watching a series is not correct. Okay, I'm watching a web series. Is it correct now? Ah, series is that one only. Singular. A series of incident, we say. Yes, yes. So that means we can use watch in the ing form. So it is a dynamic verb. If I will say, he is making fun of us. Is it a correct sentence? Tell me quickly. Is it correct? He is making fun. Yes, Rudransh. Congratulations. You are the first one. Yes. Now tell me the sentence whether it is correct. He is making fun of us. Is it correct? He is making fun of us. Yes. Correct. That means we can use make in the ing form. So it is a dynamic verb now. So this is all about stative and dynamic. The simple thing that you are using in the progressive, the verbs that you can use in the progressive tense are called dynamic verbs, and those cannot be used, or those are just telling us about the state of being, or they are just used to like what? Talking about something that is about your perception, that is called, those are called your stative verbs. Stative means fixed. They are not changing. That's why we are calling them stative. Okay. Now you can see here, you have linking verbs. Link means what? Connect. So these verbs connect the subject and predicate. That's why they are called linking verbs. They are called means they connect the subject and predicate. Okay. And you can see here, it is also known as the copular verb. In some grammar books you will find, or maybe in your school grammar book, you will find something called copular verb. So the copular, and what is the meaning of making fun of us means he is like what? Laughing at us, right? Making fun of us means mazak udana, right? I will clear it. Wait. Hmm. So now you can see here, I will use the entered, then only I can. Hmm. Okay. Oh, it is not working. Hmm. Stative, yes, I'll tell you about stative. Just a second. So when you say stative, remember we are talking about something that is fixed. Stative means fixed. Okay. So when you say I feel good, so in this, can I write it? I am feeling good? No. Why? Because it is talking about my state. What is my condition, or what is my feeling about me, my perception. So I cannot use this verb in this thing. It will be an incorrect, means what? A statement. So in this case, I will use it. So it is not changing. Okay. It is not taking up this form. So that's why it is, since it is fixed. So that is why we are calling it a stative. And stative verb has also come from the word state. State means what? Your condition. Okay. If I will say you look better. So in this case, this is my condition. And it is about what? A person who is speaking his or her perception. Okay. So that is called stative. Remember this. Okay. Dynamic means not fixed. That doesn't mean only fixed. It also means something that, what do you say? a thing that is like what? Changes. Dynamic means changes. It is not about fixed and all. We also talk about changing something. Okay. So we are talking about the other types of verb. We are just like some time left. We will be also covering that in the forthcoming session. What is the meaning of static? Static means fixed. Okay. From that we have taken out Swanand Tripathi. Stative. Okay. Yes. She's saying Banali is saying Banali means Kanupriya, right? She's saying yeah, it is a spelling. Sometimes it happens. Okay. Let me clear all this. Now we'll move to the next one. What types of verbs? What are the different types of verbs? I think we were previously discussing linking verbs. Ana, yes, sorry. Ana, not Kanupriya. I'm sorry. That is my mistake. So we're talking about linking verbs. So linking verbs are those verbs that connect subject and complement or subject and the predicate. Okay. So see, Meena is the subject and proud is the complement. Complement means what? A word that is completing a sentence. Okay. Modal verbs. We will also be going to that. The pillow feels soft. So if I will write that the pillow and I'll stop here, would you call it a complete sentence? No. If I will say Meena is, would you call it a complete sentence? No. So these words that are completing the sentence, they are making the sense of the sentence or meaning of the sentence complete. So in this case, these verbs that are joining the subject and the complement are called linking verbs. Okay. So in this sentence, is a linking verb. In this sentence, feels is a linking verb. Okay. Most linking verbs can also be used as action verbs describing a specific action rather than a state. Okay. So for example, if I will say that it smells good. So it is an action verb, but still it will call it a linking verb because it is joining the subject and the complement. No, it is incorrect if I will say Sanvi plays football because if I will write Sanvi plays, it is a complete sentence. That means it is the profession of Sanvi, she is a player. Okay. No, Shantanu, it is incorrect. We can write a sentence without using the word football. That gives another meaning to the sentence, but it doesn't only completes the meaning of the sentence. Okay. So it is not a linking verb. It is an action verb. Remember, it is an action verb. So Sanvi plays football is incorrect. Okay. We can go for some other example. Like, for example, if I will write that here plays is not a linking verb. No, incorrect. Just a moment. I'll just be back. Yeah. Sorry about, yeah, Kirtana is playing the piano. He's playing. That is also gives some other meaning to the sentence. So, no, not like that. look at this. When you are unable to complete a sentence, then you use something to complete it. For example, yeah, yes, I feel happy. Feel is a linking verb, because if you say I feel, it won't be a complete sentence. When you say I feel happy, you can also write I feel sad. You can also write I feel bad. You can also write I feel good. Any word, but without writing any of this, the sentence is not going to be completed. Okay. Ria eats pasta is not again an example of, yeah, I feel excited can also be one example. Ahana. Very good. So remember, a linking verb always means joins the subject with its predicate. Don't worry, we will be like eventually talking about the other. So let me quickly share. So I have some questions, but let it be. We will be, I think in the next session, we'll be doing all those questions. Let me quickly share the word of the day for you. Okay. These things are supposed to be clear. So what is it? Jittery. The word of the day is jittery. And jittery means feeling nervous or uneasy. So I always feel jittery on the first day of school. Maybe it's a new school for the kid. So it's jittery, and the synonyms for jittery is jumpy, edgy, nervous, okay, skittish, restless, and antonyms calm, relaxed, collected, laid back. Okay, you can have a look at it. So the word of the day is jittery. Okay. Yes, I feel happy is linking verb, correct. And so the rest of the verbs that we will be, rest of the types of the verbs and some part. What is the meaning of the word jittery? Jittery means feeling nervous or uneasy. Yes, I feel jittery in the examination hall. Very correct. Wait, let me show it again to you. Yeah, I guess you can see it now. Is it visible? The word jittery and the screen? Hmm. So that means what? When you feel nervous or uneasy, it is called jittery, right? Okay. So that is all for today, kids. We will be taking up this verb and tense for one more session. And at that point of time, we will be solving some questions on that day, some previous year Olympiad questions. And I hope it has been a very interesting session for you. Thank you. I feel jittery from great heights, at great heights, right? Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye. Take care. Bye.